now? Who can it be now?
Who can it
Ro-
be now? What's up, Paz?
Rocky, what's happening? What's
Hey,
happening, friend?
darling.
How you guys
Happy
doing?
happy day before 2 days before RecFest. I'm so excited.
I'm excited that you're excited. Unfortunately, I will not be attending this year. I'm sitting this one out, but my dude
But
Joel will be there
Joel
representing.
will be there. What's up, Joel? I can't
Jo-
wait to see you.
Rocky brings, and this is not your first Rec Fest.
No. I was there last year, which was the first one here in the US. And it's really funny. I was planning on going one in the UK and it didn't quite work out. So I'm so glad that they brought it to the US. And it's an
Yeah.
amazing event.
Last year was really incredible, and especially when you think about this was their first event. So kudos to the team there, and guess what? Next year I'm going to put a plug in that maybe the Pause will be hosting a stage next year. Maybe it'll be the Pause stage over there, maybe the Purple Acorn stage, maybe the Aaron stage. We're going to find that one. What are you most excited for about RecFest? What are you looking forward to?
You know what? For me, RecFest feels a bit like coming home. Like it feels like that time where you get to meet, those of us who have been in TA for a really long time, we just float around and we go to different places, etc. And now, especially in today's virtual world where we're all sitting in our versions of the Women Cave, we don't get to see each other. So I'm really looking forward to there's a whole list of presentations I've noted that I can't wait to go see. And I'm looking forward just to being with people.
Mm,
And, like it's super cash. Like you get to
it
hold
is.
conversations with people. You don't have to be wearing something where you're doing like this all day. We might be doing like this because it's raining, but we won't.
Well, stage.
Yeah, like you're comfortable. And at the same time, you still get the benefit of all this amazing knowledge and this ability to be able to network with people. I can
That's
tell
what it's
you,
all about, right? It's
yeah,
about meeting those people in real life, forming those friendships and the energies.
and they'll be lifelong friendships if you do it right.
Exactly. So what are your keys to networking in real life? What's one of Rocky Howard's secret tips and tricks?
So, do you want to know a secret, Paz?
Secret. I'll
I'm
keep
an
it.
introvert.
Hmm.
Like, no one ever believes that. Stop laughing, Joel. Like, I am an introvert who behaves like an extrovert. So I really don't like to network, so to speak. And
Hmm.
I
You couldn't
love,
tell though from the outside. I mean, is it hard for you? Is it really hard for you to? I mean, listen, being an introvert doesn't mean you're not a people person. It just there's other factors there, and you could also be a chameleon in different ways.
well, here's what I learned. And so I did some deep
Hmm.
reflection. And I think the reason why I'm so adverse to networking is because it feels like you have an agenda.
Mm.
But I do realize that I actually like meeting people and I like learning from people and I like learning about people. So, like, my approach to networking is really to kind of look around and go, like, who are those people who I'm like, I really want to know more about that person? I genuinely and authentically, it's not about diversiology. I don't have some secret list over here of who should be my clients and
No,
all of
no,
that
no, no,
kind of
no, no, no.
crap. Like, it doesn't work, but I really do spend time. And I'm one of those geeky people who listens to every session I can. So then I'm like going to the person and going, "Oh, you said that. Let's
So
talk about this."
let's pause on that too, because I pride myself on being. I mean, I'm extroverted. No shock there. But I mean, obviously, there's moments too when like it's a lot of energy to be me. It takes a lot of work, and it's exhausting to other people who are listening to me all day long too. So one thing I'm really mindful of when I'm at these events is to really try to listen more than I talk. And I try, and I know it takes effort. Can you imagine, Rocky, how much effort it takes me to not talk? But
No, I can't.
and but not to make it about you, make it about them, and these conversations, you kind of hit the nail on the head too. It's not about selling. It's not about having an agenda. It's forming a relationship. It's being relatable. It's forming those. Listen, people buy from people they like, so it's likability and authenticity. Listen, some people are just unlikable, like Joel, but like some people, and they have to work harder to become likable. But honestly, it really just comes down to being open and honest. And there's no better place than RecFest because it's casual. You're not, as you mentioned before, you're not in a ballroom. You're not, on a convention floor. You're at parties. Well, let me ask you this too: being an introvert, Is it hard for you to go to these events and parties because you feel like you have to, but that's not like your natural comfort zone?
Yeah, like my natural comfort zone is to crawl up at home next to my husband and read a book, right?
Mm.
So my natural thing, and here's what I know for sure. If I can just get, so introverts, if you can just get past the moment of uncomfortable when you're like, oh my God, I got to go to this party, um, and just like get past it, because once I get over the threshold, I have so much fun, and I wouldn't want to be any place else. So it's that moment beforehand where you're like, oh my God, I got to do this. And then you walk in and that first person smiles at you,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Breaks
see
the
somebody,
ice.
and you forget it all. And, like the next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. and you're like, oh my God,
Uh-uh.
I'm tired. Maybe I should go, back to my hotel.
Maybe
So
maybe
just
it's maybe
push
it's time
past
to
it.
go home. Maybe it's
Yeah.
time to. So let's talk about what you're talking about. You'll be hosting a Power and Privilege for Progress. A lot of P's in their presentation on the 13th, which is Friday, from 3 to 3:30 on the Unplugged stage. Is Joel hosting that, or he's only hosting on Thursday?
Joel, you're not hosting that, are you? I think is Torin going to be up on stage there? I'm finding you, Joel, but I'm not sure who's. I think it's Torin that might be hosting
Well,
that session.
we're gonna get to that. And we'll put it up on the screen there in a moment. Who's hosting? But that doesn't matter. This one's about you. So, Rocky, break it down for us. What is your presentation about? Who should be attending? And just fill us in.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of conversations. This could be a whole episode by itself about DEI and where it's going, and all of that type of thing. And really what this is about is, how do you create space in more human practices as TA professionals for everyone? And here's the thing. Sometimes white men feel really uncomfortable talking to black women. Real talk, having
I don't.
real conversation. I know you don't.
But that took. But to pause on that for a second. That took comfort and years of experience, and I've had some incredible, really strong black women as leaders and bosses to me. So I think I have an unfair advantage there. But it's a tough one because it's not always everyone's comfort zone, and I think that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. So what we're going to do is, I'm so excited to get on a stage with Brian McAfee and Peter Clare, and we're going to show you what it looks like.
You
They're
guys
going
are gonna
to,
role play.
yeah, we're going to talk. We're going to have real talk conversations about, from my perspective as a black woman, we're going to come at it from a factual based perspective, and we're going to talk about how white men can lend some of that privilege to black women without it being overbearing, without you having to go through all of this tough stuff. And we're going to share some stats as to why it's still important. We want to show you what relationships look like.
These are the critically important. Listen, all these events, right? Like I look at the agendas. Usually I'm podcasting, so I don't go to a lot of the keynotes, but I did have a chance to do that at RecFest, and I've been to some other ones too. And a lot of them, right, they're staying in line with like, we're going to talk about the tech, we're going to talk about diversity, we're going to talk about this, but let's go deeper, right? And I think that's why this conversation is so critical, because you're taking it a step further. And your
Well,
conversation around radical candor, because I think we need more of these at these events versus these, kind of high level BS, presentations that aren't going deep, that are snooze fest. Let's get into it. If we're going to spend our time to be outside of our office, away from our families, outside of work, let's make this shit count.
let's make this shit count. And look, first of all, you said stay in line in a conversation with me. Like that never happens, right? And second of all, here's what we found out. So I was on the stage with Rachel Williams and Tara Turk Haynes last year doing a Women King panel, and people were like, oh, they're going to talk about diversity. It was one of the best attended, best liked, most successful sessions of last year's RecFest. And Peter, and we're going to deliver again this year. Peter, Brian, and we're not going to leave you hanging. So come hang out with us.
Who else? Who else are you looking forward to hearing speak?
Oh my God, I have a whole list. So Anessa Fike and Tara Turk Haynes on the Revolutionary at Work. Joel, I'll be finding you. I know you're doing some intro there. I think I
He's doing
love.
stand up and harmonica guitar all at the same time. He's doing Joel's doing a talent show. It's gonna be called the Talentless Show. It's gonna be amazing.
I love it. Nazinga Shaw is going to be there talking about, pro level inclusion. Um,
Pro level inclusion. What does
yeah,
that mean?
Yeah, promote. She's talking about promoting pro level inclusion, and I think it's aligned with employer brand. Paige Elliott is going to do the power of diverse stories in employer branding. Uh, Robin Schooling is going to do humanity and hiring, empathy and accessibility. Tamika Allen, breaking barriers, building bridges, crafting inclusive hiring process for neurodivergent.
Mm,
John Valentino is going to be talking about
John.
streamlining talent acquisition. Love John. And my other John, John Graham, little bro John Graham, is going to be forget the crystal ball. We have a vision for the future of recruitment marketing. Like, I got a
What
whole
could
list
I?
over here, y'all. I can't
Can I tell
wait.
you? Can I tell you something? What I love about RecFest? It's the anti-Sherm, and that's a hot take right there. You know what? And not so much the Sherm event. I thought the event was the expo and everything. But what Sherm is doing right now, you know what? This is the modern age of recruiting and talent and HR. So it's time for us to get into 2024, have real conversations, and talk about some real shit here, and come together as a community that's going to make a difference and make a change. And that's what's happening at RecFest with these panels and
I have
conversations.
I took this summer off, and I came back for a few minutes to do a post. I'm trying to grab it. If I can grab it, I'll drop the link in the chat. I think it is such a travesty that the organization, the global organization that is supposed to be leading the way for um, HR professionals, is telling HR professionals, oh, well, you know what? Like, if this is shit is too hard, you could just drop the E. It's not that important. And so I'm dropping my SHRM membership. I'm over it. I'm
I
done.
just unsubscribed from those daily emails I got. I'm like, I'm
Oh
not.
yeah. I'd long since done that. Like, you just,
It
no, we're not doing it.
take the politics out. Let's focus on the people, right? And I think that's really what it's all about. Take politics out of it and do what's right for your employees. Do what's right for your company. And listen, I'm going to make another bold statement here. I think it's okay for a private company to have values that they believe in. You may not agree with all their values, right? But I think it's okay in this country to have your values. That's just what this country is about. But be clear about them, and it's about the repercussions as well. If you want to stand your ground on something, be ready for the response.
Absolutely. And
Works
I
both
believe,
ways.
yeah, and I live in a country purposely where we can have an opinion. But when you have power and privilege, going back to our session on Thursday, you have to use it responsibly. And I feel like SHRM is catering to corporate sponsorship and dollars instead of their mission of really kind of teaching practitioners, and helping practitioners be ethical in terms of their consideration.
We may not agree on what you're saying, but we all agree on free speech, right? And I think that once we kind of align on that, like, I mean, hate what you're saying, but I will fight for your right to say that. I mean, it's a tough position to be in here. But let's end on a high note. What are some of Rocky's pro tips for surviving Nashville or any kind of work trip?
Yeah, you know what? Look, first of all, make sure you got a water bottle. Let's do the practical stuff because I'm a practical girl.
Hmm.
Ditch the cute shoes, y'all. It ain't fun. Like, ditch the cute shoes
Be
and
prepared.
go
Look at the weather forecast. Dress
look.
accordingly.
Yes, dress accordingly. Ditch the cute shoes. Don't wear new shoes here. This is not the time. Keep a
You're in a
snack.
field. You're in a field, a grass field, folks. It's a park with mediocre drainage. Just be mindful of that.
Exactly. And here's what I remember too: the lunch trucks get overwhelmed,
Yeah.
so keep a snack in your pocket, right?
That
Like,
that
don't
that's a good pro tip. And go off times for the go a little earlier, go a little bit late, so you could have your snacks in between, so you're not waiting there. But here's another one
absolutely.
too. You mentioned water too. Like they had water stations there, which were great. I remember that also. But also, a lot of vendors give out water bottles. So if you forgot, it's a great giveaway. I have so many water bottles from conferences. Usually, I leave them in the hotel, but the other ones end up in my. I'm gonna take a picture for you guys soon of our shelf of water bottle swag.
I keep them, but I tell you, I'm a water snob, so I have a Brita one that has the filter, so that even when you're drinking the park water, it tastes okay.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. So, Rocky, give us another plug. What time, where, when are you speaking at RecFest?
We will be on stage Thursday afternoon, I believe 3 p.m. Join Brian Fink and Peter Clare and
Frank,
myself. And let's come have a conversation, a real talk conversation, and let's have some fun together too.
let's
Because
have some fun.
That's the key to all of this.
We'll have safe travels out to RecFest. Rocki, we'll catch up afterwards. It's always a pleasure seeing you. Thank you so much. Where can folks connect? Where could they learn more?
Oh, you know what? Hit me up on LinkedIn. There's only one Rocki with an I. Hit me up on LinkedIn. Follow the Diversiology page. Come find me at RecFest. I've got a great inclusive talent acquisition toolkit to give to you. Danielle, Joel, Paz, I appreciate you all. Thanks for having me.